Hello everyone, and welcome back to my kitchen for another diabetic friendly weekly meal prep. My name is Olivia and I am a type 1 diabetic who's been diabetic for over 20 years. And it has become my life mission to make living with diabetes more enjoyable and more sustainable long term. So I am happy to have you guys along the ride. Before we get started, please give this video a big thumbs up. That helps push my video out to a bunch of people who might need to see information just like this. Today, we are making a few really great things. We are making a diabetic friendly chicken Caesar pasta salad. We're making walking taco bowls. And lastly, we're making a caramel apple dip to go with apple slices. So all of this is diabetic friendly, lower carb, low fat, low calorie. So it's going to be a great week. So stick around to the end and I'll pop back in to say goodbye to you guys. So enjoy the video. First up for my meal prep today, I am making 4 portions of my walking taco bowls, which are pretty self-explanatory. They are a taco beefy cheesy dish with crushed up Doritos, making it so good for on the go. And all you have to do at the end is pop it in the microwave for 90 seconds and you're good to go. The macros on this are 350 calories per bowl, 13 grams of fat, 32 grams of protein, and 23 carbs. So I will pop in my first step. My first step is making the rice and refried beans mixture, which I do in my Instant Pot, or you can do it on the stove top if that's what you prefer, but I find Instant Pot just makes my life so much more simple, so I like using that. And also obviously preparing the taco meat. Now for the taco meat, all you're going to do is put a pound of lean ground beef on the stove with some taco seasoning and a splash of water, and you're going to make that quick mixture as well as the rice and beans I'm about to pop in right here. Rice is not my best friend, so when I found this Instant Pot easy whole grain brown rice recipe, I had to take it. All you do is add equal parts of long grain brown rice and equal parts of water, and I do half a packet of taco seasoning, stir it up, and I throw it in my Instant Pot for the rice setting, which is 15 minutes, and I make sure I take off the keep warm setting. Now that my rice is all done cooking, I'm going to be taking a can of refried beans. You can use regular or low fat, and adding it to the beans and stirring it up until it makes a nice thick paste. Okay, so you guys just saw the screenshot of me doing my bean and rice mixture, which is right here in my Instant Pot. Right now my ground beef is cooking on the stove with the taco seasoning, and when that's all done, I will continue to assemble the bowls. But right now I'm going to take about 3/4 of a cup of this mixture and I'm going to toss it into each bowl. And I will have some of this left over, which I do like to save in my fridge for taco salads or a last minute burrito bowl. I am a very big Mexican food eater. As you can tell in my meal prep, I feel like every week I prepare at least one Mexican meal. It's my favorite. So having that left over will do me good. So 3/4 a cup, and I'm just going to spread it out at the bottom of this bowl. And the beans are great because it adds some fiber to this meal, as well as the obvious vegetables. So we have some healthy calories at the bottom of this bowl with the beans and the rice. And next I'm going to add the ground beef once it's all finished up. And then I will continue to get my walking bowls ready for you. So my ground beef is all finished. All I did was I sauteed a pound of lean ground beef on the stovetop, added a packet of taco seasoning and a splash of water, and now I'm going to evenly distribute this beef over top of my 4 bowls. Okay, do it that way. And this is the 96% ground beef. If anyone's interested in which ground beef I am using, that is the one I'm using. It's the lowest calorie. And while I try to stick to a lower carb diet, I also try to stick to a lower calorie diet as well. So I have that all evenly distributed out between my 4 bowls. And next I'm going to start adding all of the delicious toppings to these bowls. First, I'm going to do a drizzle of cheese sauce, and this is just a great value white queso. This one's really good, and I also really love the queso from Target, and they're both cheaper because they're the store brand, so highly recommend those. And also, when it comes to queso, I love the Old El Paso squeeze queso. It's lower calorie and just so easy because then all you have to do is squeeze the bottle, like it's a bottle of ketchup, onto your food, and you're good to go. So add the queso. And next I'm going to add some protein to this by mixing together a 5-ounce container of plain Greek yogurt and red enchilada sauce. Now, if you do not like red enchilada sauce, I've also made it with green salsa verde. It's very good. But today I'm going to do the red. And I'm just going to add a splash in there because I want to smooth out the yogurt. So it's more of a drizzly consistency. And the plain Greek yogurt really adds a ton of flavor to this and a ton of protein. And if you haven't had plain Greek yogurt before, it's very similar to sour cream. So it adds that nice sour bite to your bowls. So next I'm going to take this and drizzle this over top of my bowl as well. Delicious. You would never think these bowls are low calorie. And all you have to do with a lot of these different things is make substitutions to make it low calorie. And that's one of the things I love about making my meal prep bowls, because if I were to go out and order this from Taco Bell or Chipotle, it would be like quadruple the amount of calories and carbs. But since I'm making it at home, I can make simple at home changes to make it a little bit lower calorie and better for me. Next, I'm going to add a little sprinkle of reduced fat cheddar cheese to each bowl. Just a nice little drizzle. And I say this every week on my channel. I am an eyeballer. I know I technically should, since I am claiming the calories, I should be measuring things out. However, I put on the bowls what I feel, and that's what I feel. But I will leave the instructions in my bio of the actual amounts. So that way, if you guys are making these bowls at home, you can see the amounts you're supposed to use for the calories I'm giving. And now the last thing is you can use any Doritos. You can use knockoff Doritos or anything of the sort. For me, I'm going with convenience today, and I picked this up from Walmart. It's the Doritos Minis. And I thought these would just be so much more simple than getting a bag of Doritos and crumpling them up myself. I do acknowledge the fact I sound so lazy right now, but yeah. So I'm going to do a nice little drizzle on top of these. And look how cute they are. Look how tiny. They're so cute. So drizzle that right on top. And that adds the nice little bite to the bowls. So now you have a nice little crunch on top of the bowls. Perfect. So I will show you guys what they look like. This is all finished up. These are my walking taco bowls. I now have 4 portions. So if you guys are making these at home, pop them in your fridge. These are nice meal prep containers I just pick up from Sam's Club. And when I'm ready to eat them, I pop them in my microwave for 2 minutes and they are good to go. The next meal prep, I am making chicken Caesar pasta salads. Now, a lot of this I have to prep in advance because when I assemble these bowls, I need everything to be chilled. So what I did was I cooked about 2 ounces of whole grain penne noodles on the stove, which are done, cooled in the fridge. And I also took 2 chicken breasts and cooked them in my air fryer. And I will pop in a video now of how I make my air fried grilled chicken. It's delicious, it's simple. So I definitely recommend if you're looking to make chicken, you make it this way. And then I'll pop back in to show you how I put these bowls all together. To get started on my simple air-fried grilled chicken, I'm setting my air fryer up to 400 degrees and allowing it 5 minutes to preheat before putting my chicken in. Next, I took 2 chicken breasts and I sliced them each in half, and I am now pounding them out so that way they are a little bit more tender and also a little bit thinner, and that way they cook a little bit easier, and I just find that pounded out chicken is a lot more tender. Next, I'm going to be spraying my air fryer, and I did season my chicken with paprika, salt, pepper, and garlic powder, and I'm going to just lay them down into my air fryer and have this cook on 6 minutes, and then open the air fryer up, flip it over, and then finish it for another 6 minutes, and it will be all good to go. Okay, so before I get started, I do want to tell you guys the macros for this because I did not originally mention it. They are 310 calories per bowl, 9 grams of fat, 33 grams of protein, and 26 carbs. So lower in carbs, high in protein. It is something that's going to keep you filled for a very long time. So to get started, and like I had originally mentioned prior, I have the chicken and the penne noodles in this bowl all chilled and ready to go because you're making a pasta lettuce salad with lettuce, and I just don't want the lettuce to wilt. So when I put this together, I want the noodles and the chicken all room temperature or cold, so that way the lettuce stays fresh. So I'm going to take a very generous handful of lettuce and throw it into a big bowl. like so. Lettuce is so low calorie and low carb, obviously, that I don't even measure it out. But as mentioned a million times in this video, I don't measure much out. So next I'm going to do I'm going to eyeball about 2 cups of whole grain noodles into this mixture. And you can use any noodles you want. I'm just using the whole grain penne, but if you want to add extra protein, you can use the protein noodles by Barilla, or you can use any shape that you like. So that looks about right, just like so. And next I'm just going to mix it. And since these bowls are for me, I'm mixing it by hand because I did just wash my hands and I'm good to go. Perfect. Very nice. And next I'm going to take my bowls and I'm going to evenly distribute this. Where's my other, here we go. Oops. I'm going to evenly distribute this between my 4 bowls because once again, I'm making 4 portions of this. And this meal, when it's all fresh and ready to go, I am not even going to worry about heating it up. I am literally just going to take it out of my fridge, mix the dressing on in, and I will be good to go. So this is a great meal if you're going to work. Maybe you don't have a microwave at work, or maybe you're going to the zoo with your kids, or you're doing something outside of the home. This is great because you don't even have to worry about reheating it up. So it makes it that much more simple. So the bowls are evenly distributed with that lettuce and pasta mixture. And now I'm going to finish assembling these up. So the first thing I'm going to put on it is the chicken. So as you saw in the video, these are 2 chicken breasts that I thinly sliced, pounded out, air fried. They're all cooled, ready to go. And I'm going to just slice them up and throw each half on top of one bowl, like so. And if it's easier for you, you can use chicken tenderloins. I have used the lightly breaded fried chicken before on these, and that's also very good. But today I am just using chicken breast because that is what I had on hand. And also with the chicken, you can season it however you'd like. So everything is all cut and ready to go with the chicken on each bowl. So next I'm going to add the rest of my normal Caesar toppings that I like. Now you can add egg to these bowls if you like extra protein, but for me, I'm first adding some croutons. And the little hack with croutons is they can be very carb forward and they can be high calorie if you eat a ton of them. And believe me, I could eat this whole bag without thinking about it. So one thing I do is I literally put this on the ground and step on it, and I smash the croutons into almost like little crumbs, little croutonettes, little tiny croutons. So that way I get a little bit more compared to what I would usually get if I kept them full size. So I'm going to drizzle about 2 tablespoons on top of each bowl. And also there's something special about that little slight breadcrumb crunch. I worked at a restaurant when I was in college that made a kale Caesar salad. And instead of using croutons, they used like breadcrumb crumbs. Like crispy little, probably exactly this. They probably took the croutons and stepped on them to make them crumb-like. I don't know. Regardless, they were delicious. So that's kind of where I got my inspiration from with the croutons. I just remember loving it and adding a nice light crunch to the meal, and I love that. So I put about 2 tablespoons on top of each bowl, and next I'm going to do a nice generous sprinkle of Parmesan cheese. And when I'm all ready to serve these up, I just have to shake the bowl up to get everything evenly distributed, mix my dressing in, and I'm good to go. And to make things even more simple, because my kids are off for spring break this week, so I want things to be so simple for me, I am putting the dressing in pre-portioned cups I purchased at Walmart. And the dressing I was trying to get for these is the Bolthouse Caesar dressing, which if you have not tried it yet, it is delicious. I highly, highly recommend. But they subbed it with the Kraft Light Caesar, and this one is 40 calories for 2 tablespoons, 4 grams of net carbs, 3 grams of sugar. I haven't tried it before, but I'm sure it's just fine, especially when you mix it with all these goodies that are already in the bowls. So I'm going to eyeball out about 2 tablespoons in each cup. And then that way, this week, whatever my kids want to do, if they want to go to the zoo, they want to go to the park, I don't have to worry about either picking up Wawa or fast food. Instead, I can just grab these bowls and I'm good to go. I just have to worry about what they're going to eat, which sometimes is way more challenging because kids don't like to eat. So there we have it. And there is my chicken Caesar pasta salad bowl. This is a really super easy recipe. I know you guys are probably thinking, my gosh, anybody can make it. And yes, you're very right. But it's one of my favorites, so I want to show you guys too. Okay, so the last thing I'm meal prepping with you guys is my sweet treat for a late night. I am preparing a caramel apple yogurt dip with apple slices. So for the apple slices, I just ordered this from Walmart. It is the pre-portioned apple slices. However, if you just want to slice an apple, obviously, just whatever you want to do. But however, the calories on this are 135 calories, including the apple slices, half of a gram of fat, 12 grams of protein, and 22 carbs. So all I'm going to do is take this half of sugar-free Cool Whip, and I'm going to add 1 container of caramel apple pie yogurt to it. This is the Light and Fit brand. This is my favorite yogurt to use because I have found that the flavors all really do a good job at mimicking the taste of the dessert that they are trying to. Now, I will say that a lot of my desserts lately have included Cool Whip. And I know that was a very big trend on TikTok and YouTube Shorts, and I kind of piggybacked on that, but I just figured that it is like one of the best ways to have a low calorie, low carb, low sugar dessert, and I've been really enjoying it. So this is why I'm sharing yet another delicious fluff-inspired Cool Whip recipe. So next, I'm going to take half a packet of the Jell-O sugar-free cheesecake flavor, and I'm going to put that in there. Now, you could also add any flavor you'd like. If you really want chocolate or just plain vanilla or even butterscotch would be really yummy. You can always mix that in. And I'm just going to mix right in the container. And this is going to taste so good with the apple slices. I can't wait. And then last, I'm going to put a little bit of the Smucker's sugar-free caramel sauce in here and mix it on up. You can use any brand you like. This is just the Smucker's brand that I'm using today. And I'm going to do a nice feel-good shot of that. And I'm going to mix because you can't have caramel apple without the caramel. And next, I'm going to just evenly distribute these in my 4 containers. And then I'm going to lastly drizzle caramel right on top. Let's evenly distribute this out. Another great hack with these recipes I do want to mention is that these Cool Whip Jell-O desserts are really great frozen. Now, if you freeze it to the point where it's frozen and then you defrost it for a little bit and you take it out, it is very similar to ice cream, but obviously much lower calorie, much lower carb, and lower sugar, and it's surprisingly delicious. Maybe next week I will feature that on my channel so you guys can see how I kind of make my Cool Whip inspired ice cream. It's delicious. However, I'm going to lastly just drizzle this right on top. So now after dinner or maybe when the kids go to bed, I can enjoy some yogurt dip with some apples, and it will be a great, great night. So if you guys made it to the end, thank you for watching me until the end. I hope you guys got some great inspiration from watching my meal prep for this week. I hope you really enjoyed it. And if you did, please, please, please give this video a big thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you're new. I try to post weekly videos on here of what I do for meal prep for me and my family to get us through the week as a type 1 diabetic. So also, to end this video, it is the day before Easter when this video is going up. So if you're watching it today and tomorrow is Easter, I hope the Easter Bunny brings you everything you guys want. And I hope you and your families have a fantastic, amazing Easter. So I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.